Start screen. Slideshow to 105. Okay, it's 105, so I'm going to begin. Welcome, students, faculty, staff, parents, either in person or Zoom. This is Deconstructing a Job or Internship Posting, the third in what I like to call our HW Works panel series. The first one was being Navigating Summer Opportunities with Jen Patterson. The second one last week was our resume and cover letter writing workshop with Jenny Ingersoll. And today was actually going to be with Nikki Wexler from class of 2012. However, she's on a flight right now back to New York. She was going to be in California as temporarily. She thought she'd be here today, but she wasn't. But I'm more than happy to make this what was going to be a two-person presentation, a one-person presentation. With that being said, let's get started. And of course, per usual, please send me an email if you want to request the lecture slides afterwards. I'm happy to send them to you. This is information that I want freely shared with the entire community, so no gatekeeping here, right? And so here's a brief overview. Obviously, we know there's tons of different types of job postings, right? Some of them will have very few lines, very little substance. Others will tell you about the history of the company, like what it is you're doing, the history of the role. So really the best way to understand the job posting is to take it and break it down, right? Or internship posting. I use job and internship here interchangeably because they're generally going to have the same things, right? What are the most important essential parts of an internship or job description, right? And most importantly, are you a good fit for the role? And is the role a good fit for you? After this, you should be able to break down an internship or job posting, know how to properly tailor your documents, i.e., your resume, your cover letter, your letter of introduction towards a particular job, and also be more successful in communicating your value add to your employers. This is particularly important for those of you who are changing careers or for those of you who are just getting started working as I look at students currently here in the classroom, right? How do you communicate to your employer that what you're doing is valuable, right? So we first start with basically, I'm going to give you the how do you approach it, right? When you see an internship or a job listing or a description, how do you, and you like it, how should you go about attacking it? Well, the first thing you want to do is save, right? Save the job posting and the job description if possible, or copy and paste into a text file. I'm going to, against my better judgment, I was just going to go through this, but I think we should use a real job listing. So I went to Works and the Get Hired section, and I think this internship for the Summer Heritage Study Program is, excuse me, a pretty good example of a job listing that we can go through to talk about some of the things that we want, right? Some of the things in this presentation. So the first thing you want to do is save it, right? Next, list them out, right? List out what the required qualifications for the job are and the skills and abilities required to execute it. If you're lucky and it's a well-written job or internship posting like this one, ours have to be in order for employers to post with on it for HW. I have them go through a bunch of rules where this stuff is explicitly stated, right? One list, your responsibilities and the responsibilities, and the other one, the qualifications and skills that they're looking for, right? Make sure you separate the two. Then you kind of sort of title them out, right? Required qualifications. Those would be like educational requirements, experience, licenses. And the pro tip with this kind of sort of the hack The most important qualifications will be at the top of the listing. So in this case, they want you enrolled in high school in Orange County, California, have a passion for education and cultural exchange and community engagement, strong communication, leadership skills. You see how it goes from the must, the you have to have this qualification or skill to it's optional, right? That's generally how it's going to be on all job listings, right? And the same thing with responsibilities. It's going to go from most important to not least important, but maybe even the thing that uh, the activity you'll do the least or most infrequent, right? So top to bottom, most important or most paramount to least paramount or least important. Skills and ability, right? Those are demonstrated communication skills, right? That would be an example. Ability to work with minimal supervision, problem solving capabilities, right? Skills and abilities can also be known as competency, right? But when it comes to jobs and stuff, we just say skills. It's the language of like employment. So when we talk about skills, what are competencies? Well, competency is not, while they're used interchangeably, being competent is much more than just being skilled, right? A combination of your skill, your strengths, your skills, and your knowledge, right? And what I did here, and hopefully you all will find this helpful in person, and those of you who are on Zoom, I've given you some of the criteria for things that would be considered competencies, right? Things that you can use. Anything that you do that's observable, measurable, transferable, based on performance, or linked to the workplace, academic environment, or life experiences. I'm going to move this up because I keep walking into it. That's better. When do you use these competencies? The stuff that we're covering right now, right? Applications, resumes, cover letters, interviews. So all of you are individually talented or have strengths in many different fields or arenas. Competencies are more or less trying to encompass all of those and be like, this is what I would bring to you as as an employee. So applications, resumes, cover letters, and interviews, which are coming up. This particular lesson is a precursor to the one in 2 weeks, which is gaining experience when you have none, which again will be really pertinent for current students, students in college, and those who are already professional but changing careers, right? How do you understand your strengths? Well, these are all your past experiences, all the wonderful things that you all are doing here at Harvard Westlake or in college or in your internships or beyond, even professionally. And you assess them, right, to see how your competency is developed. What is your own competency level and employability? What's the progress? How far are you going towards your goals? And how do you improve the quality of your work, right? Those are the types of things that you can talk about when you're talking about what your strengths are. You all are going to get this question, whether it's an interview or whether it's coming across, they're going to ask for your strengths. Things that you need to be stronger with or planning your learning, right? The competencies that you've developed in your life can help you improve, can help bring your learning, what you're learning, whether it's here or you're in the classroom, to life. You're going to bring stuff in your work, in your progress, in your camps to the classroom, and some of the things in a classroom you're going to bring there. For those of you who are focused on internships, that is exactly what an internship is. You are giving your labor, and instead of being remunerated with money or some sort of other type of financial compensation, your reward is the experience of being in the workplace, right? What you're learning, right? And you take that back to the classroom. What you learn in the classroom hopefully will help you in the workplace. And that's why we have the internship documentation that you all have to sign when you get one that shows that it is a legitimate learning experience, right? When you're interviewing, and this is maybe for those of you who are in college getting internships or already in the workforce, but will be good for our current students because you all will be good getting interviews, right? They're going to ask competency-based questions, right? Talk about a time when you had a communication breakdown with a coworker. Give an example of how you use teamwork to solve problems. Describe an experience that demonstrates your strengths in research and analysis, right? You want to talk about overcoming when you had a conflict and overcoming it, right? You want to talk about how you use your communication skills to either get your point across or get something that you wanted done, right? Or you can just tell a story, right? That's what I really like doing. And that's a good way you can take control of not only just an interview process, but generally a job process, right? All you're doing is telling your story repeatedly, an internship process, so to speak. Even for programs and camps, and I'm sure you all have heard me say this if you met with me, there are generally two questions with all of these things that you're answering. Why you and why us? So if you can tell that story, right, all of this stuff falls into line. Are there any questions thus far? Yes, ma'am. Sure. Because like for me, like I coach tennis, for instance, like how do I like measure that? What are the number of clients, the number of campers, or number of people that you're coaching, right? Their measured progress, right? What they say, and now I'm getting into your business, but like if you have any kind of sort of a quality control or any kind of poll or summary that they take of your coaching, of your tutoring, how that's improved, or if it hasn't improved, like why it's at such a high level and it stays that way, right? There are all sorts of, and it's very subjective, quantitative metrics that you can use to show this is where I was and this is where I am now, right? Even things such as it used to take me 3 hours per student. Now I'm able to get everything across in two, right? Something like that, where it could be deemed a good or a bad thing. It's all subjective. You can turn it to what you want it to. But those are some of the quantitative metrics that you can use to demonstrate your progress in your learning when it comes to employers and how much you've improved, right? So I've given you 10 here, right? These are things that you can put on your resume. These are things that you can incorporate in your story, right? I mean, how can I put this delicately, right? I love my job here at Harvard Westlake. It's a very unique experience. As in most of your internships and your experiences will be unique. But if you somehow have these 10 things, you can demonstrate them or show them or have examples for them. There aren't too many employment opportunities that you aren't going to be following. Right? Personal management, communication, managing information, research and analysis, project and task management, teamwork, commitment to quality, right? Professional behavior, social responsibility, and continuous learning, right? These things, I'm always looking to acquire and apply new knowledge and skills, right? I recognize my beliefs, my actions, and ethics and how they fit in the workplace, right? I use sound judgment, and I give these definitions just so you can incorporate some of these terms and some of that language into your story. Program competency, right? So these were core competencies, right? These are things that you want to take with you wherever you are, right? These are part of who you are as a professional. Now we get more specialized, right? Program competencies are knowledge, skills, and strengths that are valuable in your specific program area. Leadership, international relations, computer science. Like those are specialized things, right? And each of them will require a set of competencies that you want to have across. How do you find those things out? That's when you get in contact with professionals here, right? Alums, parents who are in these fields and can tell you exactly what it is that you need to have to be considered competent in that area or field or program. Professional competencies, right? This is about a specific organization, a specific affiliation. I cover a lot of these, or these can be covered. You can do it the same way. HW works as an employer information series that we'll be unrolling. We unrolled a little bit last year. We're doing kind of sort of the how to now. So next fall, you will have more of the working at CAA. We've already done, if you check the resources section, working at Google, working at Disney, and working at Apple. No, not working at Apple, working at Facebook. We have 25 more that we plan on unveiling. And so those professional competencies, right? It's more about at a specific organization or within a specific field within a specific organization, right? There's one thing in working at Google, and then you're working at Google, the legal department's going to be different than working with like programming, right? Questions? We're good? Cool. We got like 15 minutes, 14 minutes left, something like that. Okay. You've saved it. You've made your list, right? You found your internship that you're interested in, the program that you're interested in, whatever it is that you're interested in professionally, or in some cases academically. And now you wanna break it down, right? Consider your background, and under each list, how do you meet the criteria, right? What have you done that says that? Highlight the matches, and then you develop your paperwork based upon that, right? If it's a position that has a ton of qualifications and skills, try to get those ones at the top, right? The most important ones that match, right? If you don't have any experience, and again, this will be our next lesson, gaining experience when you have none. It's like March 12th or 13th or something like that. Don't worry. You can showcase your competency, right? All that other stuff where it's like, yeah, I may not have any experience in law or finance or computer science or manufacturing, but I have those core competency, those 10 things, which signals to people, employers, this is a good person regardless. And we can, for a lot of these things, those core competencies are more important than actual competency, the actual qualification or skill listed, because a lot of employers will just take good people and they'll train. Training's a big part of it. They'll teach you. And you start building your resume after that, right? You put together a draft, right? Create a worksheet to identify what should go into that resume draft, right? The job title, the employer or organization, the type of job it is, whether it's a co-op, part-time, volunteer, internship, full-time, etc. List of the required qualifications for the job, list of your qualifications that match those in the job posting, list of required skills for the job, list of your skills that match the job in the job posting or internship posting or whatever it is. And you do this for everyone. If you'll get good enough and you'll do this enough where you'll be able to see, ooh, I like that. You'll look at the top of each one. You'll be able to change your paperwork around. And all of a sudden, and I joke about this with one of our alums who I helped get a job. The idea is it's not that job listing. You want to make the employer or the internship provider think this is your dream, right? You've been waiting for this, right? And this is the next logical step. Yes.
You don't have one resume. You change the resume based on what you're.
Bingo. Correct. To give another example, I had another alum who was interested in the intersection of art and law, right? So she had an art resume, right, for jobs like in art, and she had a legal resume for jobs in law. Completely diametrically opposed in some regards, but she was able to use her core competencies and some of the skills that she got in all of her professional background and use it to be appealing to both. And you can do that. For those of you who were here the last time or weren't here the last time and didn't request it, I linked to the resume and cover letter writing workshop to give you some of those basics as well. That's it. We got 11 minutes, something like that, 12 minutes. Do we have any questions, any commentary, any concerns? Like I said, send me an email. I'll send this out to you as well. You get this one, you'll have the resume and cover letter writing workshop one from the last time as well. And you all will be able to see a link, kind of sort of a path to this is how it works. For the current students in here, that's who I'm like talking to when I go off screen. A lot of you, as you're juniors, you'll kind of sort of start to feel this summer as you're applying for professional opportunities. You'll really see this when you get to college in not too long, right? When you're applying for those freshman year internship opportunities, those are extremely difficult. And you will see that you're separated from a lot of your classmates because you have a cover letter, a resume, a letter of introduction. You know how to change and adapt and mold them to the position. And as a result of learning how to do that and knowing how to do that, you're able to change and adapt and mold for interviews as well. Change and adapt and mold for those calls as well. Essays, anything that will be required. Questions? Cool. This was like a cool 20 minutes. This is great. Again, Mr. France, kfrance at hw.com. Send me an email. I'm on the second floor of the library. Come stop by and say hi. Otherwise, this video will be posted in the resources section of the platform, and these lecture slides are available by request. If there isn't anything else, you all enjoy the rest of your afternoon, and thank you. Oh, the round of applause. I didn't know I deserved that, but no problem. Absolutely. You all know where I'm. Thank you for coming. And if you have any questions or commentary or concerns, just let me know.